So hey Jay, how are you?
Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I actually have Jay back on the show because you were here with a band a couple years ago.
All Day Sucker.
All Day Sucker.
Yes.
And here he is back again. Oh my God.
Yes.
You guys are in for it. You guys are in for it right now. So Jay is an amazing guitarist. And
that's what they tell me.
Yes, he is. And you've been all over the world touring with a ton of really big acts. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
I'm an LA native, and I play guitar, and I've played guitar since I was a very little kid. And I do tour a lot with lots of different artists that range from people like Eddie Money and Lauryn Hill to Michael Bolton and Michael McDonald to Dave Koz and just whatever the job requires. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, what was your first big gig like that where you were touring?
The first big touring I did was, well, it wasn't a big tour, and they weren't big at the time, but they were a band that in the 70s were big. They were called Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds.
Okay.
And I was 20 or 21 years old, and I did a little tour of, I think it was like Tahoe, Vegas, and Laughlin and Reno or something like that. And I just loved it. I had so much fun because I was doing my own bands up until then, playing on the Sunset Strip and all that. And it was so much work doing all that. And to get called to do a tour where all I had to do was get on stage and play guitar and collect money at the end of the week, I was just like, yeah, sign me up for this.
You're like, this is the easy life.
It was difficult, you know, being in the band. It was because there's always that one person who's kind of the driving force of the band, and I was at that point.
Right.
And it was just.
What was that band that you had?
That band was called Aspirin Pie. We wanted to think of a band name that when you heard it once, you never forgot it, no matter how bad the name was, and it's a terrible name, Aspirin Pie. My drummer came up with it. But it was tough because it was the late 80s, and things were changing on the Sunset Strip. The whole Seattle thing hadn't happened yet. And it was tricky because I did all the writing, and it was tough dealing with, you know, one of the guys in the band wasn't good enough to play the stuff I wrote, and my singer cared more about getting laid than writing his lyrics. And the guitar player, because he could play 3 chords on guitar, wanted to co-write all the songs with me. And then you're dealing with the managers of all the clubs never paying you what they say they will. And it was just a lot of stress for a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know, and I got hired to
That
do
kind of
this
sucks
tour.
that they would do that too, because I've heard of that a lot. You know, like when the guys don't really come through, they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you this, and then they don't get it actually in the end.
Right. Well, you know, now it's made me savvy.
Yeah.
You know, I learned these lessons at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I was still living at home with my parents, and didn't matter if I got screwed out of $50 because it was like, okay, you know, like they didn't worry about
You'll
bills.
still live.
Exactly.
Right.
So it made me savvy when I got older and I was dealing with management people and booking people and agents and stuff like that, where I knew all the little loopholes that they like to use. I learned all that stuff. But just that tour fell in my lap, and I was like, this is easy. All I have to do is just play guitar. And at that moment, I kind of switched gears in my guitar playing to being really versatile. I wanted to just master as many styles of music as I can.
Right.
You know, because then I feel.
Then
like
anybody could hire you.
Right. Because then I'm not only the guy that can go out and do a rock gig. I'm not only the guy that can go out and do an R&B gig or a funk gig or a jazz gig. You can hire me for any kind of gig.
Yeah, and then also you do studio musician work as well,
Yeah,
a lot, right?
A lot of that. It's changed a lot. It's not a whole lot of having a cartage guy. A cartage guy is like when you have a company that carries your gear around for you. A lot of that doesn't happen anymore, but it's all done at home now. I have a studio at home, and people send their Pro Tools sessions.
Because of the internet,
right,
again.
because of the internet.
The music industry is so different.
Right. It's all done like on a Dropbox, and somebody will put a song up on a Dropbox, and I will record it at home in my studio, and I can do it at my leisure, and I can take as much time as I need usually, and give them back tons of guitars that they don't even maybe need. You know, way more than they'll need.
Tons of tracks.
Tons of tracks, tons of parts, and tons of different sounds and directions. And they can pick and choose what they want to use and not use what they don't. And then, you know, they PayPal you the money. Sometimes you never even meet these people face to face.
It's so crazy.
It's word of mouth. Hey, I heard you can do guitar tracks. And it's amazing how it works. And there's something cool about going into the studio, though, that you miss. I'm doing a session in 2 weeks from now with a live band in a studio. We're tracking, I think, 15 songs in 2 days.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but that's why you're a musician. That's when you're in a room with other cats and you're playing music you've never heard since you walked in that room right now.
How are you going to do 15 songs
We'll
in
get it
2
done.
days when you never even heard them before?
Well, you get in there, and
Yeah.
usually an artist and a producer there, and they'll play you a demo of the song that they've made, and there'll be sheet music written out, and we all just kind of sit down and get in the room together, and everybody's got their amps and stuff in different booths, and we sit in a room together, and we talk out our parts, and is this primary instrument going to be piano or guitar, or is it bass, or, you just talk it out, you communicate real quick for like 5 minutes, and you get in there and play.
Well, that's because you've got so much experience too. And also being able to read sheet music, which not every musician out there actually can.
Right, and I'm not even really a great musician. I know a lot of guys who read circles around me. I'm an adequate music reader. I develop my ears, I have great ears. But there have been times when I've had to go up to the keyboard player and go, what's this figure here?
Yeah.
Like play that for me. And okay, cool. And I hear it and I can just go play it.
Right.
But that happens. It does, because I'm not a great reader. Definitely not. Those who know me are laughing right now going, he's not a good reader, because I'm the first to admit I'm not a good reader.
Well, you're definitely really good on the guitar. I mean, I've seen you play. You've done a lot of live shows. You do a lot of stuff all around this area in Los Angeles, as well as touring with other big artists. I mean, still, you still do gigs with other big artists too.
I do. I'm getting ready to go on tour in a couple weeks with Dave Koz and Peter White and like Freddie Washington and Denise Williams, and we're going to Stockholm, Sweden, and Helsinki, Finland, and Estonia, Russia, Copenhagen.
Dang.
It's going to be cool.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of fun. And I play every Monday night in Santa Monica.
Oh, cool.
At Harvell's.
Okay.
And we use that as a fundraiser for a kids' school for kids that can't afford music lessons.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the money we make on Monday nights, it's just donations. You come in and you make donations if you want. Or contributions, I think we have to call them.
Yeah.
Because they're not tax deductible.
Okay.
I guess a donation is tax deductible and a contribution is not.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Maybe there's a CPA out there that can.
Well, we actually have to take a quick break.
Okay.
But we'll be right back with guitarist Jay Gore. Hey, thanks for watching part of my interview with Jay Gore. To continue to hear the rest of his story, click here.